This is Dating with R3PTAR, and I am R3PTAR.
And what's going on, y'all? This is your boy Jose, and this is the Conversing Vibes podcast, the place where we continue the conversation one topic at a time.
And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I am R3PTAR underscore Love Jones, R3PTAR underscore LOVEJ and we're on YouTube. YouTube. Search, which is Dating with R3PTAR, and we are on Facebook, which is the Book of Faces, at Dating with R3PTAR, and we're on Twitch, which is at the Litverse.
You can follow me on my personal Instagram at Mr. Gomez89. You can also follow the Conversing Vibes podcast via the Instagram at Conversing Vibes podcast, all in one, with the lovely assistance of Dating with R3PTAR and the Conversing Vibes podcast. We're here to conduct a conversation on relationships and love language.
If you've done your planets, thank you so much for doing your planets. I appreciate y'all, because y'all about to have me read you right now. Fern, send it first. So, you know your sun is you, right? We do the Zodiac Big Three all the time.
My sun is Aquarius, moon Capricorn, rising Libra.
Do you feel like you're always in your own world when you're yourself, when you identify as an Aquarius?
All the time.
There's your answer. When you're a Capricorn moonin, right? When you're upset, do you have a tendency to list everything that you're upset about instead of just sporadically saying how you feel?
Not really, to an extent. I listen to myself. Like, I have to write it down, because if I try to say it like orally, I just can't get my point across. I usually can't tell the other person like why I'm upset.
But you wrote it down first.
Right.
That's a trait. It still comes across as like, at some point you don't want to feel left behind, so you still write it down. It may not be in a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but it's in terms of how you're able to get it across without you stumbling or being railroaded. That's a true Capricorn moon trait. Welcome to my world.
Libra.
So do you have a tendency when you meet people in person, are you balancing how you're going to talk to them?
Yeah, for the most part.
So this is you. When you talk to people, when you outwardly show your persona, you are doing this at the same time. You're trying to balance, am I going to be nice to these people, or am I just going to sit here and not talk because I'm just here? They know I'm here, so they'll talk to me at some point. You're tipping the scales in terms of how you come across to people. And when you have conversations with them, when you talk and have your personality shine, it's of a Libra rising. The way you think, talk, have the wheels turning, you are of a Capricorn. So when you say you write things down, does that include when you write papers? Does that include how you get your thought process going?
Yep. Writing for everything.
When it comes to how you love people, which is your Venus, do you have a tendency to go through the pros and cons of you loving someone or giving that kind of love to that person?
Yep.
And why aren't you a Capricorn again? He was just born in January, February. Begins and ends
right.
So understand, you have a tendency to write a lot of things down, but you say that you're in your own world, but you're fighting the love of self, because you're constantly jotting down how you're going to feel. What is it going to do? How is it going to look to my partner? How is it going to be seen to him as I'm trying to be myself at the same time? So you're battling your own world and the person's world at the same time when you're trying to love. That's what Venus is. That's the fatal attraction. In terms of Mars, that's what motivates you. That's where your passion and action comes from. So like when you're passionate about something, it comes through there. When your motivations pop up, or what you're motivated by, that pops up. When you do actual actions, that's where it comes from. So for you being Pisces, Kevin would be the best person to talk to when you want to be motivated by something. You would ask him as a Pisces identity, because they're the ones that, yes, they do have a tendency to sit and look, but at the same time, they do things without you knowing. Do you have a tendency to just move and not say nothing?
All the time. That's just how I operate.
Now you understand. That's why when everybody like, what's she doing? None of your damn business. I'm doing me. So Jupiter, philosophy, fortune, and expanding. So when you want to expand yourself, you basically do it in your own world and how you see fit for you. And it ain't gonna change. Because you identify with your Jupiter. It's the same thing. So you're in your own bubble trying to do things like that. So do you feel at any point you have a tendency to be in your own world when you're trying to do better for yourself and expand who you are?
Always. And people perceive that as like selfishness, which I get all the time.
Unfortunately, it's none of their damn business. Pay them no mind. Okay. And so in terms of your Saturn, it's like learning, building, and refining. So how you learn, how you move, how you do things, how you touch it up and fix it and make it look good. You act like a whole Aries. Mr. T Jones here would be the greatest person to tell you about that. Because it's like they're so gun-ho and you cannot change them. So gun-ho, but not stubbornly gun-ho. Stubborn part comes to the Taurus. That's the difference from the goat and the bull. They are gun-ho in their own right, but it's not stubborn enough to get on your nerves. It's more sitting there understanding how far and how wide they're gonna go. So if you're always fixing something or you're trying to see how much further out you can go with it, you acting like a whole Aries. And then he just nodded, so I must have read his whole chart just. And the twins of Uranus and Neptune. Understand, they're twins in the planet solar system, but unfortunately, they act different. So, in terms of Uranus, in terms of the revolution and the revolution not being televised and how you progress in life, you are yourself. You do it in your own world. And if you don't feel that you do, you might be doing it without you knowing. At some point. So if you feel that way at any point, let me know. You can say it. By all means, interrupt me. But if you feel that it's the right thing, then that's because you revolutionize and progress in your own bubble that nobody else will understand.
That sounds accurate.
Neptune being dreaming, intuition, and magic. Do you list your dreams? Do you always keep them in your mind, or like do you have a tendency to rattle it off as soon as it happens?
I think they're constant thoughts, but I don't treat those the same as I do other stuff. Like I don't write them down, anything like that. They're just always a thought.
So when you go with your gut feeling, is it like this is what my gut is feeling like? Or this is what the gut is doing to me and this is how it's feeling and this is what I'm gonna tell you that it's feeling? Do you do that?
Yep.
So at some point it does come up as you have in the Capricorn trait, because it goes back to how you're gonna say these things and what it's gonna look like. And then Pluto being the worst part of the planets that don't exist. So don't worry about it. It doesn't exist anymore. We only got 8 planets now. We don't got 9 no more. But if we do, and if they want to consider it, the traits of a Pluto are your fears. So understand, if you have a tendency to think for yourself a little more than others, that can potentially be bad. We're supposed to have self-care. What it's seen and what you may discover is only for you and nobody else. That's the rule of me that I do with people. That's how I put a Sagittarius in its box. The rule of me. So when you discover new things, it's only for you. When you have depth in anything you do, that's only for you and nobody else can touch that. Now, if you don't feel that way, the other people should not be in your business. Period. That's your chart in planets.
Thank you. That was very accurate. You just read me right through.
Josè, you have 4 Virgos and 3 Capricorns and a Cancer and a Scorpio. So you got a lot of shit going on. So we all know you prioritize as a Leo. You are self-expression. You are who you are. You talk with no bounds and don't give a shit at all. With that being said, there's nothing else I can say about that, you fiery sign. So your moon sign, your Mercury, your Venus, and your Mars are Virgo. So when you emote, is it done in a lackadaisical way? Or is it done in a place where you know how you're feeling, but you'll do it in your own time?
I'll do it in my own time.
That is a Virgo. I hate Virgos. I will always forever know Virgos. So understand, your feelings will kind of be detrimental to someone because they want to know at the moment if you have someone like that. In Mercury, your thoughts, feelings, and how you process. Do you do it in your own time?
Not all the time, but I would say a good portion of the time.
So you want to say 80-20?
80-20, yeah.
So understand, when you think and process things and you take too long, people will get mad.
But then that's my process at the end of the day. If, but I get what you're saying, though.
It is yours. Yes. Absolutely. In accordance to other people, taking too long is a problem.
That's why you got to communicate if I am taking too long.
Unfortunately. In terms of your Venus, which is the love, which is where the love comes from. Do you love in your own time or is it right away?
I feel like it's in between.
So you think 50-50.
Yeah.
So do you show this kind of love and affection, I would say, in the first 3 months?
Depending on the chemistry I'm building with the person, yes.
It's not as harsh in that regard.
Exactly. I don't rush it, but if I feel genuinely,
Don't rush it. Think about that. You don't rush it. So taking your time in that can make someone jittery. Because
okay.
the world is like this. This is you. And I'm not even doing that to be funny. Like that could be you when we're like, I love you, Jose, and you're like Waka Flocka, like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on who you're with and who you're talking to.
Right.
In terms of your passion or motivations and actions, do they come as frequent as you may think, or do they take their time?
I feel like they come also. I feel like that's also in between because it doesn't come as frequently, but I feel like at the same time it does take its time too.
So at that same time, do you act on it in the same way? Do you take your time?
I feel like out of respect to, you know, into my pace, yeah. Out of respect to my pace.
That's your 4 Virgo traits right there. Do you expand on how you feel? Because you're a Cancer. So do you expand on how you feel? Do you have the philosophy of a Cancer, like everything is through feeling? Do you feel like you're they say fortunes, but I don't look at that deep. But I would say definitely your expansions. Do you go by how you feel when you're expanding yourself?
Yes.
Welcome to my world.
I like whenever I'm feeling like to elaborate, like that's definitely me because I'm definitely analytical when it comes to my feelings. So definitely whenever I'm expressing myself, I take the necessary time to thoroughly process it so that I can be able to express that to my partner or whoever it is that I'm interested in at the time.
And you
So
know,
definitely.
but when you do action, you do it in your own time. That's a problem. You can expand the world, don't mean you act on it the same.
I feel like at times I do address it and or like take the necessary action. I feel like I've done that previously, but I feel like I'm more shot in the space that when I say I'm going to do something, that I actually act on it within a reasonable time frame. But before, I would definitely say I would act like such.
Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, you are all Capricorn. So when you learn, rebuild, and refine, do you list it?
Yes.
You're in shock or in a revolution or you're progressing, do you list it?
Yes, I do.
Or like have a to-do list?
Yes.
Cool. So when you dream or have intuitions, is it within the confines of you listing it down?
Not right away, but yes.
But you still do it at some point.
Yes.
So that goes back to your action. It still takes its time because your ass ain't trying to do it right then and there. Virgo's gonna kick your butt. And then, like I said, Pluto don't exist. But you have discovery. Do you sit there and observe it before you act on it, or before you expand on it? Expound.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
because Scorpio is very observant. So understand you observe before you act, and because you expand in a Cancerian way of how you feel, that same time that Virgo's kicking you in the ass because you're sitting there trying to like, I'll do it when it comes to me.
Interesting.
That's your planet. Taqueena! In terms of you, in your sun sign, we all know you're a Gemini, so you other twins. Under every circumstances, there's Taqueena and then there's Queena. So we know there's two different people of you. We know two, right? You're Sagittarius moon, as we all know, right? As we all know. When you have feelings and emotions, do you have a tendency to only think about yourself in that moment?
No.
Tell the truth. Tell the fucking truth. You laugh. Tell the truth.
Yes, I do. Yes.
You do. So, in terms of the rule of me, your emotions mean more than anybody else in the room. So because of that, we can't talk to you because you're like, oh, this is how I fucking feel, and this is what it is, and that's it. The Mercury within Cancer. Do you think, talk, and process with your feelings?
Oh, definitely.
You do it all the time. Like, I feel this, and I don't.
Definitely.
As an Aries, right? As how you love. Is it as close to stubborn as you can get without being stubborn?
I guess.
Yes. Don't tell no lies here. It's a safe embrace.
Don't you deny it now.
I mean, it depends on how you function with it. Like, is it really you? Like, yeah, we gonna be doing this. We gonna do it. We just not gonna be stubborn about it. We just gonna do it, and we gonna do it right, and we gonna keep it moving. And that's why you're so experimental in sex.
I'm experimental towards anything. Oh, and love. Got you.
Exactly.
Oh.
So when you love and be different and things of that sort, that's when it comes in. But that's where the experimentalist comes in. Because you constantly want to do something different. Because the Aries don't like to be bored.
Yeah, I definitely don't like to be bored. I get bored super easily.
In terms of Mars, when you're so gung-ho and passionate about your motivations, your actions, and you're automatically on it, gonna do it right then and there when you see it. Boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you have it, you about to do it right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
Jose needs a lot more you.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Said what I said. You need to be a lot more her. But your expansion in Mars is Virgo. You're lackadaisical. Yours is more of what you identify with.
That's interesting.
So when you expand yourself, right, or see or new horizons that you would like to come across, are you constantly doing this, balancing which one you want to do first? That's why you're a Libra in that regard.
That is me.
I do this now. Should I not?
That's me.
And then it goes back to when you experiment. Let's try this, maybe not. Let's see how he's gonna feel about it. It all fits. In terms of learning, rebuilding, and refining, be in the room and just study the room.
Oh yeah.
But not as heavy as an observant Scorpio. You're just in there like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. Got it.
Oh yeah. I'm observant. So
that's why it nods to your Scorpioism and your rising, because you outwardly observe people when you're talking to them.
Okay.
But at the same time, with it being Pluto, your discoveries and stuff, you have to observe before you touch it. So you're a Scorpio at heart, and your chart don't want to tell you, but they're telling you now. When they say North Node and stuff, that basically means they want you to act more as a Sagittarius.
So I need to act more like a Sagittarius.
Saying that you need to think about yourself more, because you have a tendency to think about others and put yourself last.
Okay, that makes 1000% sense.
And then with we don't talk about the Lilith, because that's basically like the evil traits of you. And if you're a bad sense of Kevin,
ooh, Pisces.
I'm scared. You get the bad traits of a Pisces or bad traits of Kevin, like he's not laughing, but you're just straight up an asshole. No, it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, my best friend is a Pisces, and I do not want to be near her when she is like that.
Petty
Petty as hell. So understand, you can have a tendency to get that way if you stay around it or pick it up, because it's there.
Yeah. Okay, that wasn't so bad.
Mr. Ty, you ready for me?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. Always ready.
We already know you identify as an Aries. So you're not as stubborn, but you still are gung-ho about your stuff and take no shit.
Yeah.
Take no shits whatsoever. Consistency and persistency is what you identify with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your moon sign, when you get upset, when you get highly upset, do you get as fiery as a Leo, lion pride? Your feelings are going to come out regardless of how anyone feels and how they think.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not because you're thinking of yourself. It's because that's how you feel, and this is the way it's going to come out.
Yes. Yes.
When you think, speak, and process, you think, speak, and process just like how you identify. So you say you're an Aries, you actually are. You talk like one, you think like one, you process like one. So
wow.
I don't want it. I'm just talking with you. We have the same love sign of Taurus. So in that regard, that means you are gung-ho and stubborn about how you love and how you feel. You don't give a damn how the bitch feel. This is how you feel.
Okay. Yes, that's true.
And
To some extent.
it almost could be like when you love your friends, when you have a love for your friend too. This is how you feel. I care for you, and this is how I feel for you, and it's up to you if you want to get it together with me. When you're motivated and passionate and you act upon how you function, you have a twin named Ty.
What?
You are a Gemini when it comes to acting on the things you want to do and what you're motivated and passionate about. Are you questioning or talking to your twin at the same time when you're trying to act on something, which they call your second mind?
Interesting.
I must have said something right. So, when you're expanding, when you're gun ho and about to expand yourself, you're just as fiery as the fucking Leo you are in your feelings. So when you feel that you need to expand this way, you're automatically gonna do it, no matter how fucked up it's gonna be. Okay, I must be saying something
Wow.
else good. In your Saturn, do you feel that you learn, rebuild, and refine yourself in your own world, in your own bubble?
Yes, I feel like that all the time.
Congratulations. Your lives should make sense as to why we will never understand you.
My rising sign, Virgo.
So when it's in your bubble, right, and you portray this laxative person, right, you're expanding so gun-ho in your bubble, but you do it in your own time because you're portraying someone that's so cool, calm, and collective.
Damn.
Because you'll say, oh, this is what it is, and I'm going to expand this way, but I'm just cool about it. I'm just here. I'm listening to y'all. In terms of Uranus and Neptune, those are like given because of 1984 to 1995. We all have those. In revolution or progressing, do you feel like you make a list about things when you're progressing in life? Or you have an epiphany?
I don't think I have like an epiphany. I feel like I always have been the kind of person to set goals and like, what I want and then what I gotta do to get it, and I get it.
So understand that's your intuition talking too. Same person.
Okay.
So when you're in the progress of doing that, you're still using that gut feeling of the same sign.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
You're setting something. You're listing something.
Mm-hmm.
Still like a list. And so last but not least, your Pluto being Scorpio, that's mostly all of us, I think. Like when you discover, you got to observe it first before you try it. So if you have a tendency to observe at any time, your Pluto is actually bigger than what it technically is.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That makes so much sense, man.
But however,
Like,
they also say here, since you put the other two, that you shouldn't be about yourself all the time.
okay.
You need to be more of, I'm a take the time and list out what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna take the time to do the things I need to do, so that way it doesn't seem selfish.
Okay.
Cavano, the Pisces.
Yes, ma'am.
So in this regard, you're a Pisces. You identify with what you are and all that good stuff. We know. We talk about it all the time. In an Aries perspective of a moon sign, you and Ty need to talk. Because are you really truly in your emotions, but you're not stubborn about it?
Give or take. I'm very selective on who I talk to about my emotions, but yeah, I'm able to talk about them.
So, Ty, are you that way in that regard?
I wasn't before. I've realized over the time that I have to be selective of who I talk to about my emotions.
Do you feel how you feel without being stubborn?
I feel like I'm always like that.
Because
I don't
of
mind.
Leo.
Right. Yep.
Because yours is Leo. That's why it's going to be a constant battle of your emotions, because it's like there's a certain way you want to do things, but at the same time, you're like, fuck it, I'm saying it. So that's to make that.
Yeah.
You're rising is Leo. So do you have a tendency when you talk to people, Kevin? Are you trying to figure out how you're going to approach them?
Yeah,
So like you're balancing, am I going to say hi or I'm just going to be here and hopefully they say something to me?
pretty much. It'd be like, if you don't say hi, okay.
Your Mercury matches your Sun, which means you talk, think, and process like a Pisces. So when you have your little talks and your see this is the thing and listen, you are a Pisces at that moment.
When I'm up long hours of the day, I just talk to myself about the same situation over and over again and discover new things each time.
You love like an Aries. So like it was interesting with your love language because not a lot of them are quality time. So that which bumps back to Ty. He's not quality time. Perfect example. So has that any way hindered how you feel?
No, because like I said, depending on how the scope of my relationship goes, words of affirmation go a long way for me. That's just how it is. Like I need that validation. And I've always said that, like, yo, I need that validation. I know that when it comes to my relationship, I need validation. I need it.
So at the same time, do you feel like when you're emotional, like the Aries, do you feel like the quality time is amplified or decreased?
More like decreased to a point because just time to a point decreased because honestly, if I'm trusting you in every aspect of what you say, you just gotta say it. You can't just have me think it and assume it and be like, oh yeah, down the line you was right about it, but you could have said that. And we could have skipped like 5 whole steps just by you saying it.
When you're motivated and passionate and you do your actions, do you feel it when you act? Do you feel your passion? Do you feel the motivation?
Nope.
You don't feel at all.
Nope.
So do you get
discouraged? I be feeling like I don't do enough.
Okay. So understand that's still a Cancerian mind because we constantly give. Constantly give because you're Cancer, Mars Cancer. So you constantly give, and it's like if I stop, I didn't do enough.
Pretty much.
So in Jupiter, are you balancing how you're going to expand yourself?
Yeah.
Like, is this the right time or should I wait?
It's always a wait process. I'm just always waiting.
So have you ever tipped the scales and not waited and went with how you felt to do the action of a Cancer?
Nope. Went against it each time.
So that's your Libra talking.
Pretty much.
And Saturn, when you learn, rebuild, and refine, is it in a way that you can only do it and nobody else can touch it? As evident
as me moving? Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's not the evidence of me moving, then yeah. When I got here, it was like I didn't want no help with nothing. Like, yo, don't buy nothing, don't give me nothing. I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, because you're an Aquarius in that regard. So you're a double cap in terms of the twins of Uranus and Neptune. But do you revolutionize like one? Do you progress like one? Do you have a gut feeling like one? As I told Ty, like I said, those will be the same because we all were born in 1984 to 1995. So do you feel it comes across that way? When
it comes to my thought process, when it comes to revolutionizing things, yeah, it comes off that way. Progress-wise, depending on, the Capricorn, at least the Capricorn processing, right?
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah. So pretty much, I always like take my time and think every little detail out. Like from this could work to this could fail. What happens if it works? What happens if it fails? Can I do this differently? Can I do this the same? Can I do that? There's always 1,001 different thought processes, and some of it get lost, some of it doesn't, some of it happens, some of it doesn't.
So what's going on? Back to your Jupiter. Does that go back to you waiting?
Yeah, I do it all the time because I literally wait. Like even now, I'm like, how many times have I said I'm gonna go out, and then I just sit here, and 2 hours later, I'm gonna go out, and then don't go out. There's always a super thought process like, I could just stay home.
And then at the same time, when you're finding discovery or new things, do you have a tendency to sit and observe and then wait?
When I'm trying new things, as of lately, no. When I've been trying new things, I just been doing it. But when I get complacent, or when I come to a point where, okay, I can only make time to do certain things, then I sit and wait. Because now I'm using what little time I have compared to I got all the time in the world, but okay, I want to use that time,
wisely.
Valuable. Yeah, wisely.
So
it's like.
So basically, you're knocking off the trait of that by your Cancerian way of action. Feel this is right, you're gonna act on it.
Pretty much.
which overshadows the Libra, but you still wait at a certain point depending on what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your answer. That's how Kevin acts, guys. And that's it. That's all.
Like
who did
a,
it. That's everything.
like a true Pisces. Like I've always said.
Yeah, well, when you talk and think and speak, have your speech, hell yeah, you a Pisces. Just like Ty.
Yeah.
He talks like a fucking Aries.
Yeah.
For me, I talk like a Cancer. You tell me all the time I'm such a Cancer.
Yeah.
When I say I feel, I think, I process it this way. Doesn't matter about my fucking disability. This is just how I function.
Yep.
It's what it is.
It is what it is.
And we share the Jupiter and Libra. I'm always balancing how the hell shit's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? I'm always balancing how I'm gonna expand. This here has been my biggest challenge of expansion. Always battling what the fuck to do next. I can preach towards Jose's Mars because I'm a Virgo too, and that's what pisses me off, and that's why I get upset. Because I do it in my own time because I never know what to do with it. I never know what to do with it. Never know. As a Capricorn moon with Fernie, I'm always telling people how I feel and I list it down. From literal point A to point fucking B. I'm a Saturn Aquarius. Whomever else I said was a Saturn Aquarius. I do the same learning, building, and refining in a way that nobody else will understand. This was the only platform I could tell any of y'all what the hell I'm doing. Where it only makes sense to y'all and nobody else. Nobody else.
If that ain't
Nobody else.
Nobody. But in Kevin's point, the greatest thing about a Pisces for him is like it works. For me, it does not. That's why sometimes I can't be around Kevin. No offense.
No, I know that.
Sometimes we can't be around each other because we are opposites that can be detrimental to each other.
Yeah, I'm very isolated. She can't do isolated.
I can't.
Like as she said from her 6 months away. She can't deal with isolation. And Pisces are heavy when it comes to deep emotions that we isolate ourselves to not hurt the other.
You understand? That cuts my whole quality time down.
Yeah.
It all goes together. It makes me diminish that shit. Because I want to appeal to my friend or to my partner or whomever I'm talking to.
And for Pisces, we have a set way of doing it without you having to try. It's like Pisces always is the flip of the coin, and at the same time, we always think on both sides of the fence. So without you trying, we'll think. It's sort of like we think for you. Like, you want this to work, we know what you got to do, and we know what we have to do. But at the same time, to protect our significant other will lead into more we got to do, so we don't cause long harm. Because trust and believe, pettiness to a Pisces is one thing. Anger with a Pisces is, whew, that's when the Aries come out. That's when the moon Aries come out. Because we angry. We're very angry. Very angry. That's why it's like when they tell you, yo, the one thing you don't never want to do with a Pisces is make them angry.
Make them mad.
Don't want to do that. Getting upset is one thing, but getting them mad, breaking their hearts, doing something that you knew that was going to set them off, don't do it. Just don't do it.
That's why with Kevin, it hurt me when he stopped talking.
Oh yeah, I went ghost for like what?
It hurt me, but I'm
just
giving
like 5 months.
Something like that.
It was like 5 months. January, February, March, April, May. It happened in May.
Yeah.
It happened in mid-May, and then I didn't resurface till the week till 2 weeks before I left.
It ties into I had to leave Kevin alone because there was no way I was going to get any contact with him. It took for me to do a mutual friend to find him, but understand, I had to leave him alone because that was detrimental to me.
Yep.
It's like in a video game. Do not give me space. I lose. So that's me in a nutshell. And for you, Taqueena, when they say to act more like a Sagittarius, they tell me to do the same thing. I can't do it.
Yo, when I tell you Sagittarius are blind,
it's not even that. It's more of the rule of me. I think about people before I think about myself.
But there's a reason for it. It's because of the fact that they have such a strong way of dealing with people. It's almost like a Pisces. Like once they're in it, they're in it.
Yeah.
There is no leave for any little reason. Like it's got to be such a monumental reason for them to leave.
Yeah.
So before they even get to that point, it's like, yo, you have to do everything for yourself to know that is this person worth me having to do more for them and me than just me. Because Sagittarius is a very, very strong for lovers. But they will go to the ends of the earth before they leave a relationship. Shoot. I know this woman, she's a Sagittarius to heart. She said she done got beat, cheated on, had a kid, all that. Was with that man for 17 years. 17 years.
Wow.
I'm a Capricorn, twins with the Uranus and Neptune. I list everything that I do. It's detrimental for me as a Scorpio. I observe everything, but then I say what I have to say afterward. You may not even understand it. You understand where my cartoon references come from? That's for me to know and you to find out. It all fits.
It all fits.
It all fits.
No, I think we pretty much covered a lot tonight, and I want to thank everyone here for really speaking your piece and most importantly, feeling vulnerable enough to be in this space to really speak your piece on relationships and your love life. Y'all the real MVPs tonight, so y'all should give it up for y'all because y'all came in this space and y'all did y'all thing. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't follow me already on Instagram, I'm R3PTAR_Love Jones, R3PTAR _LOVEJ1EZ, and we're on YouTube. Search, which is Dating with Reptar, and we're on Facebook at Dating with Reptar, and we're on Twitchify to Witcheroni, which is at the Litverse.
And you can find me on Instagram, both personal at Mr. Gomez89. Again, that is at Mr. Gomez89. And you can follow the Conversing Vibes podcast also on Instagram at Conversing Vibes podcast, all together in one. Everything right now on Instagram.
Yeah. But deuces fans. Deuces.
And you know the vibes.